Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing on today? I am super duper excited. Guess what, guys? We have her here, right here on today, guys. New York Times best-selling author Krystal Marquis is back at the cafe, guys. She graced us with her presence with the first book, The Davenports, that had us at the edge of our seats. And guys, let me just tell you, she has done it again with the second book, the sequel book, The Davenports, More Than This. Krystal, I am super duper excited, guys. I'm ready for everybody to get their hands on a copy of the second book in this sequel as well. Guys, if you are just joining us, of course, you know what to do. Like, tag, and share. Tell a friend to tell a friend to come on down to the cafe because we're hanging out with a best-selling author, Krystal Marquis, on today to talk about her new release. And of course, Krystal, before we begin, I want to allow you, my friend, to introduce yourself to the people.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Angela, for having me. As you said, my name is Krystal Marquis. I am the author of The Davenports and its sequel, More Than This. And I began writing about 10 or so years ago. The Davenports was my debut novel, and it is the story that I wanted to read. It's about four young Black girls growing up, falling in love for the first time, and trying to figure out what they want to do with themselves while balancing their family's expectations. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. And Krystal, oh my goodness. I mean, you just shared with us, those who may be new to your writing, that the first book, The Davenport, this was actually your debut novel. Wow. And before we get into these amazing stories or what have you, what was that like? First of all, this is your debut novel, and then you hit the New York Times, my friend. What was that feeling like for you? I know we were excited for you, but I can imagine yourself being excited.
Oh, I was over the moon. Sometimes it still doesn't seem real. It was very unexpected. It was a story that, like I said, I wanted to read, and I was very passionate about it and about the characters. And to see that so many other people were just as excited to read a story about Black girls and during this time period was just so rewarding. And seeing the banner on the sequel saying New York Times bestseller, like that is, it's so surreal and exciting.
I love that. I love that. Well, Krystal, please know that we here at the cafe, we are in love with the Davenports. Actually, Jacqueline Thomas, she says the same thing. Yes, we totally love the Davenports. And that actually leads me into the next thing, Krystal. Okay, first of all, guys, this is the first book. Check out that cover, okay?
Mhm.
Check out the cover of the Davenports. And then, okay, are y'all ready for this? Bam, check out the cover for the Davenports, More Than This.
Like,
Okay, Krystal,
me
you got to
too.
spill some tea. What was that like? And you can, because some people may be new to the series, tell us
Mhm.
what it was like to see, when you got the original cover for book one. And of course, when you saw your cover for the sequel as well. What was that like for you?
So I think I was really lucky that I got some input on the covers. I got to choose the artists, and they sent me sketches, and I got to choose different things that I liked. The tagline was something that I was a part of. So it was just really amazing to see the progression of sketches to a finished copy. And when I got the arcs, they were a matte yellow. And so getting the final copies and that shiny gold, opening the box was like opening a treasure chest. It was
Oh,
so bright.
wow.
It was so bright under the lights, opening it up on the dining room table. And you saw the gold coming out of the box before I actually saw the cover. So it was just like really exciting to see that. And then for the sequel, the team did a great job making a cover that was really complimentary. And I think when they first approached me, they wanted to know what color I wanted, and I had initially asked for a pink cover because
Okay.
I knew the first chapter was starting with Ruby, and it seemed fitting to have something kind of that fits her personality. And they did the sketches, they did all their background work, and then they reached out to me and they're like, "You don't want pink. You don't want pink. We're going to do a different color." And I was like, "I don't care what color you pick as long as it's something that I look good in," because with the first book, I wore a lot of yellow to my events, and
Yes.
I was planning on doing the same thing. So I was like, okay, you guys can choose a color, but it has to be something that I look good in so that I can go out and have fun shopping. And
Right.
yes, and when I saw
Because
the,
Krystal, it's all about matching the cover. You know, we are
oh yeah,
as you can
definitely.
see, I have on my look my purple as again to represent the cover as well. Now, Krystal, you hit on something that you share, and guys, if you're just joining us, we are hanging out with New York Times best-selling author of the Davenports. Guys, she gave us the Davenports on last year, and guess what, guys? The sequel, the Davenports, More Than This, it is available now, and of course, hold on, we will be sharing with you how you can get your hands on a copy of this amazing story. And guys, let me just tell you, when we get into it, Krystal, she doesn't waste any time. She hits us with a headliner in the first chapter, starting with Ruby as well. But Krystal, I want to find out from you a little bit about your writing, because this is historical fiction, is YA as well. But would you say that historical fiction found you, or did you find it?
Oh, I would say it found me. I'm a big reader and I tend to gravitate towards sci-fi and fantasy.
Okay.
And I will pick up fantasy that has a historical context or a historical
Okay.
background. Yeah, and there's like a few authors who write historical fiction that I love, but I'm more likely to gravitate towards fantasy and sci-fi. And it was the inspiration from the Davenports that really inspired me to write something that was historical fiction, to
Wow.
look into that
Wow.
background and, explore what life would have been like in 1910 for girls of that background, growing up with wealth and, a time during change.
Yeah, because and for those who don't know, the Davenports is based off of a real life family. If I'm not mistaken, it's the Patterson family, and
Mhm.
they was like the first African American family to own like an auto company. Is that correct? Or what
Yes.
have you too? And to speaking into that, Krystal, what was that research like? And I know earlier you said that you wanted to write a book that you wanted to read about, or what have you. But what was that research like for you?
It was interesting. It was a lot of articles researching online. I started the I started the Davenports right before the pandemic, so unfortunately I wasn't able to visit Chicago until later, but I was very lucky that the public library system had a wealth of resources online, from menus to city maps, pictures, magazines. So I took a lot of that research that you learn in school, get your primary sources, and use that to write the novel.
Wow, I love that. And one of the things I want to ask you, Krystal, when it comes to the Davenports and writing in that time period, first of all, I love a good historical, and then then give it the Chicago backdrop. Oh my goodness, because it's almost like the Chicago is like a character in itself as
Yeah.
well. Did you know that you want to go into that era, or what have you?
I did, yeah. So the Pattersons actually lived in Ohio, and it was during my research that I found a lot of the rich history about Chicago, and it's always somewhere that I wanted to visit. I was very like
Okay.
attracted to it, and I wrote the setting of the Davenports in Chicago just to pull that history in, to build on the Black Wall Street that they had and the entrepreneurs that lived there.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. Guys, if you're just joining us, as you can see, I'm smiling from ear to ear because I get to hang out with Krystal Marquis. You guys get to hang out with Krystal Marquis on today, guys, talking about her hot off the press new release. It's the sequel to the Davenports, guys, More Than This. Now, Krystal, before we get into More Than This, I want to ask you this. Did you have any idea that we would fall in love with the Davenports? I mean, first of all, Krystal, it started with the cover, my friend. You had me at the cover, and then, of course, guys, the Davenports. You will fall in love with these sisters and everything that they have to go through, or what have you. I mean, there's romance, there's scandal, is Chicago 1910. There's suitors. It's all these things going on in this book that just captures your attention attention. And then, like I said, guys, she brings us the sequel, and she does not hesitate. She jumps right in, or what have you. But for you, Krystal, did you have any idea that we would fall in love with the Davenports the way that we have?
I didn't think it would be on this scale. I wrote characters that interested me and things that I thought that I would enjoy, stories that I wish I had growing up as a young girl. And I just put a lot of love and care into the story, and just a lot of me and my friends and people I care about into the characters and history that, just interested me so much. So for me, it was more of like a passion project, and I would be excited if a few people liked it. And to see that so many other people also craved that kind of story has just been so amazing and reassuring. And I love all the messages about kids reading it with their parents or
Yeah.
book clubs. I think that's one of the things that I love most, because I am a huge reader and I read a lot with my mom. So meeting mother daughters who read it together, like, that's
I
been really
love that.
special.
That is special. That is special.
Yeah.
And Krystal, that actually leads into something that I love about historicals as well. I love historicals that not only are they a great book, but they're also entertaining and educational. And you also want
Mhm.
to go back and do research and find out more and more information about it. So I'm glad that you shared that you are finding that women read it with their daughters and they're able to educate them. Not only that, guys, it's a YA. So even when younger adults read this particular book as well, again, it gives them that vibe that's like, wow, I want to find out more about this family. I want to find out more about this era as well. So Krystal, so thank you again for bringing us and sharing your gift of writing and giving us the Davenports that we have fallen in love with. I know I've fallen in love with the Davenports as well. And guys, hold tight. Of course, Krystal will be reading a short snippet of the Davenports More Than This. And we will also be sharing with you how you can get your hands on a copy. And of course, guys, we like to be interactive here at the cafe. So if you have a question or two for Krystal Marquis, put it in the comment section, and we'll be sure to try to include you throughout this talk with her on today. Now, Krystal, I want to ask you this. Okay, so the first book is called The Davenports. And then the sequel is called The Davenports More Than This. So
Mhm.
was the More Than This your working title when you was working on the sequel, or did it just kind of evolved, as you finished the story? Tell us about that title.
Yeah, it was a working title. It was something that I kind of had in the back of my mind. And I think that it manifested into something greater. I don't want to give away any spoilers, but like, as you know, it comes up later in the book and some of the girls'
Yes.
stories. Yeah. So I think that it was something that started out as, okay, this is a placeholder, but then it came to develop a meaning on its own.
Wow. Okay. That's a little bit of tea. Okay. I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. So it started as a placeholder and then, guys, it kind of evolved. Thank you for
Mhm.
sharing that and
Of
spilling a
course.
little bit of tea as well. Now, of course, we have to talk about these characters, guys. The sisters are back. Okay. The sisters are back. Their best friend is back. All this good stuff. There's still some drama, all of that as well. But I want to talk a little bit about some of the characters, and you can share a little inspiration once I say their names, and then we'll go
Mhm.
into depth with some of the characters as well. So look, because the book started with Ruby, let's start with her. What can you tell us about Ruby Davenport?
Oh. Well, I think Ruby is one of the more fun characters that I had to write. She's very impulsive. She's
Yes.
Olivia's best friend, and
Yes.
she was in love with John, and her whole scheme to have him fall in love with her kind of backfired, but in the best way. She found her own forever person. So the story kind of starts with her getting ready to take the next step in that relationship. And I think it's very interesting to see her character evolve even amongst rumors and other things that are going on. She very much holds true to her own personality and her sense of self. And I think that's really great.
Yes, yes. Oh my goodness. And even like you said, even with her family, and like you said, it's almost like a scandal. She got these rumors going on, but yet she's
Hmm.
engaged, or what have you too. But I really like that you started the book with her, or what have you. And it was like, okay, and the plot thickens. I love that. I love that. And of course, let's talk about her best friend, Olivia. What can you tell us about her?
Yeah, so at the end of book one, Olivia decides to pursue her life at home. She wants to see the activist groups in Chicago thrive, and she has a special place in her heart for Washington Dwight, and she just wants to, she has that in her mind that they'll end up together. And
Yes,
of course, and of course, her parents have other plans. They
they
want to
have
see
other
her
plans.
settle down. Yeah. So we kind of see her kind of um, feed off of that. And she goes along with it reluctantly just to please her parents as she like bides her time for Washington to return. But this new suitor comes into her life and kind of opens her mind up to other ways that she can serve her community. And I think for her, she realizes there's more than one way to have your voice heard and, you know, work towards like her end goal of seeing the black people in Chicago thrive.
I love that. I love
Mhm.
that. Okay, so guys, she's talked a little bit about the best friend, Ruby. She's talked a little bit about Olivia Davenport. Okay, we got to talk about the youngest sister, Helen
Mhm.
at Davenport. What can you tell us about her?
So I feel like Helen is so headstrong and she's so passionate that
Yeah,
she's also a really fun character to write.
I bet.
Yes. We do see her vulnerable side though, because she unexpectedly fell in love in book one. It was never something that she thought would happen. She's
Right.
always been super focused on being a part of the family's company. So
Yes.
for her, she kind of dives back into that twofold. And for her, like that's the only thing that she really sees. And you get to see her apply like her ingenuity in a new way. And
Yeah.
she does soften up to the idea of a suitor, especially when she meets a cute race car driver who wants to help her build a car.
Like the good old race car driver. Yes, 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 yes.
Hmm.
And of course, we have to talk about Amy Rose, guys. Let me
Hmm.
tell you, she's into entrepreneurship. She also is she likes the brother John, which we also know there was another individual in book one as well. But what can you tell us about Amy Rose?
Yeah, so Amy Rose is kind of finding her own way through owning a small business. She finds a mentor in Mrs. Davis, and she is trying to learn as much as she can and build her own brand. And even though she has feelings for John, she kind of wants to work on herself and achieve her own goals before she starts thinking about romance. But something unexpected happens, and she and John are placed in close
Right.
proximity again. So now she has to figure out how she feels about him.
Yes, yes. Look, and speaking of John, let's talk about some of these men as well. Let's see. I do want to. We have a comment. Mama Tony Bonita. She said Helen was stubborn in the first book. I can't wait to see her in book two. Yes, Mama Tony. Let me tell you, Helen. She shows up in book two as well. I love that. I love that. And let's talk about some of the men in the Davenports more than this. Let's start with John
Mhm.
Davenport because he is a popular one. Let's
Yeah.
talk about him.
Yeah. John was a popular character, and I feel that you get to see different sides of him from each of the girls' points of view. That
Yeah, you do.
you get to know him really well, and people really gravitated towards him, whether they think he's like too stubborn for Amy Rose or if he's like the biggest dreamboat in the story. People have very strong opinions, and that's really fun. And I think in this book you see him kind of come into his own while working with Helen trying to get this automobile off the ground,
Yeah,
and you see him still trying to earn like his trust back with Amy Rose, which is a very interesting journey for the two of them.
I love that. I love that. And of course, we're going to talk about one more character.
Mhm.
Let's talk a little bit about Everett Stone.
Yeah. Yeah, so Mr. Stone is a new character to Davenport's More Than This. He is a lawyer for the Davenport Carriage Company, and he is the new male suitor that Olivia's parents has chosen for her. So she is a reluctant uh, date with him. They
Yes.
meet at Ruby's wedding, and the parents are trying to set them up. So she's trying to play nice while she tries to figure out what she can do. Um, as it concerns Mr. Dwight and her activism. But, sometimes opposites attract, and sometimes you have like a very interesting mix when you add a third person into a little love match.
Yes, yes. Now, Crystal, you share with us a little bit about some of the characters that were
Mhm.
kind of fun for you to write. But on the flip side, is there a character that was a little more complex in this particular series for you to write?
I would say that Olivia was a complex character to write, mostly because she does start off very closed off in the sense that she's sheltered. And for her, everything's new. And it's a tightrope to try and balance learning things for the first time and her her desire to please her parents but also follow her own dreams. So like finding that good balance of how much should she know about what's going on in the world around her, or like how much could her parents really shelter her, and then how much based on her upbringing is she able to push back and branch out from what she's used to.
I love that. I love that. Guys, if you're just joining us, we are hanging out with New York Times best-selling author Krystal Marquis. Guys, let me tell you, she hit us with a headliner with the first book, The Davenports. And now, guys, hot off the press, you do not have to wait any longer. The sequel, The Davenports, More Than This, it is hot off the press. It is available now. We'll be sharing with you how you can get your hands on a copy of The Davenports, More Than This. And coming up in just a moment, Krystal will be sharing with us a short snippet. But before she do, Krystal, I want you to talk a little bit about this because the book, the first book, The Davenports, the second one, More Than This, they are written in a multiple point of view, and I love that. What was that like for you as a writer to write the different points of view? And did you enjoy doing that format with these characters?
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it because it gave me a chance to have different experiences writing. It allowed me to have different like opinions on certain things, and to live out like different personalities, like different things that like Olivia would do is maybe not bold enough for Ruby. So then Ruby can go ahead and like make a rash decision. And I
Mhm.
think like whenever I got stuck, it was easy to like, okay, I'm going to just be a different character now. And so like hopping from point of view one to another, it kind of kept it fresh, the writing moving along much quicker than I think if I was writing just from one perspective.
Wow, I love that. And you writing the multiple points of views or what have you. What was that like for you behind the scene? Are you a
Mhm.
plotter? Are you a pantser or what have you? Or do you have the different characters and it's whoever's speaking to you at that moment? How did you formulate all of that together?
Yeah, so I did have a pretty detailed outline. It started out as like a sentence for each character, and then I would, in
Oh,
a revision, expand upon it. So, like, the final outline was 2 to 3 sentences, maybe more, about what I wanted to happen in each chapter, what the goal
interesting.
was.
Okay.
Yeah, so it kind of kept me centered. But then there are a few instances where something would come up and it's like, oh, I like this better. Let me like pivot here and then write the story from this perspective. And I like to joke that Ruby, because she's impulsive, a lot of those changes came from maybe a decision she as a character made in the moment. Yes.
Oh, we getting the tea, guys. We are getting the tea. I love that.
Yes. So of course
Thank
that
you for
caused a domino
sharing.
effect. Yeah.
Yes, I love that. I love that. Well, guys, if you're just joining us, hanging out with Krystal Marquis, we're talking about the Davenports More Than This. And guess what? If you're just hopping on, you are just in time because Krystal is getting ready to read to us a short snippet. Krystal, I'm going to allow you to set the stage. You can
Mhm.
share with us what you're getting ready to read, and you can start when you're ready.
All right. So I'm going to be reading one of Olivia's chapters. It's it's her first chapter in More Than This. And she is at Ruby's engagement party and she's chatting with her siblings and just like taking in what's going on around her. Olivia Elise Davenport, smile wide, watched her best friend greet the other guests. The centerpieces were shades of red roses, splashes of Ruby's signature color everywhere. She will be someone's wife, Olivia shook her head. This was the desired outcome after all they'd learned from their mothers and governesses. Of course, it had been their parents' wish that the Tremaines and Davenports be united through marriage. And at one time, it had been Olivia's too. But to see the joy radiating from her best friend, and to know that in her own heart too, Olivia understood that such things could not come from planning or plotting. Her own course had been unexpected, yes, but Olivia knew that her day would come. Just not yet. From her spot under the tent, among the blooming pink flowers and neatly trimmed hedges, she watched the couple and allowed an image of Washington Dwight to fill her mind. His strong jaw, honey-colored eyes, and high cheekbones. She was transported back to their evening on the restaurant rooftop, not long before he left Chicago. The air had been filled with the savory steam of food cooking below, and music from a nearby bar wafted on the crisp spring breeze. As the sun set, it filled the Chicago skyline with bright oranges and gold. He'd held her close, his cheek pressed against hers, as they danced to the faint rhythm. She recalled the heat that had bloomed under the palm of his hand, splayed across her back. Her memory painted a clear picture, and his letters, the passion in them, each one ending with the same declaration of his affection for her, convinced her that the distance between them was only in the physical sense. He signed them Until We Dance Again, WDW, which always made her smile, recalling their first dance together, the glint in his eye and his mischief. How much of their relationship had changed since they first met. She wondered if he'd kept her own letters. So strange, said Helen. Olivia gasped. Don't frighten me like that. Helen, how are you so quiet? I thought you went to go get cake. The table is too crowded, said Helen. She eyed her parents, who gathered around the desserts. Then her face split into a grin. I'm quite like a cat. How else do you think I sneak off to the garage undetected? Olivia snorted. They both knew she'd been caught more than once. Helen's eyes flitted across the spectacle. To think this was almost you, Livy. Good thing you have such discerning taste. She pretended to ignore Olivia's look. Though I expected Mama and Daddy would have turned your engagement into a circus. She sipped her sweet tea. Olivia stared at the sweating glass, her own throat dry. It was still hot, even though the sun lowered. And the crowd was large, consisting of Chicago's prominent families, all of them known to Mr. Tremaine in his efforts to run for mayor, and to the Davenports in their efforts to support him. All these people at what might have been her wedding. Olivia agreed with her sister about the circus part, but said, I think they would have held mine at Freeport if I'd asked. In the ballroom, maybe made it more intimate affair. And forgo your own long-planned spectacle, Helen handed her the glass of cold tea. Olivia sipped, grateful, and handed it back. The idea of her childhood dreams made Olivia smile. She glanced at her sister quickly. At one point, she and Helen had shared an affection for the same gentleman, Jacob Lawrence, he of the neat mustache of the London family fortune, or so he'd led them to believe. Olivia's engagement to him had been expected, but she had moved on from Mr. Lawrence before the truth came out. She found the right person for her in Washington Dwight. The outspoken lawyer surprised her, challenged her, and from the very meeting in the Sampson house, when he passionately addressed the crowd, it was there that she'd begun working with Chicago's growing group of civil rights activists. But like she told Washington in her letters, she hadn't quite mustered the courage to take the stage as he did. For now, she followed the lead of others. She volunteered when she could. It was something, just not enough.
Guys, there you have it. She was reading a little bit from Olivia's point of view. Let me just tell you guys, you are in for a treat. That is at the beginning or what have you. And I love, again, how you capture our attentions and you hold our attention, guys. Guys, this is a fast-paced read. It is action-packed. It's all the feels. You would definitely enjoy the sequel of The Davenports. And, of course, we'll be sharing with you how you can get your hands on a copy of The Davenports, More Than This, as well well. Okay, and they are enjoying the snippet. You have Waletta said sounds intriguing. Letitia said great a snippet as well. And of course, we have to play a round of this or that, my friend. I promise you, there is no right or wrong answers, but it is all things according to you. And because it is the Christmas holiday, we will be doing this or that Christmas edition. Krystal, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Let's get started. We're going to go with Christmas tree lights. Are you colored lights or white lights? Colored lights or white lights?
Oh, white.
Okay. Are you ribbon or a wreath? Ribbon or wreath?
Ribbon.
Okay. Christmas wrapping or Christmas bag? Christmas wrapping or Christmas bag?
Wrapping.
Okay. Apple cider or hot cocoa? Apple cider or hot cocoa?
Hot cocoa.
I love it. I love it. And thank you so much, Krystal, for playing a round of this or that Christmas edition with us here at the cafe, my friend. Now, I want to ask you this, Krystal, before we do our giveaway on today. Can you share with us, what did you enjoy about writing the Davenports more than this?
I think I really enjoyed seeing the girls grow and develop in the story. I feel like the events at the end of book 1 really challenged them, and then seeing them figure out how to still pursue their dreams was really, really rewarding.
I love that. I love that. Guys, we are talking to Krystal Marquis. This is the Davenports More Than This. And of course, guys, there is a giveaway. I'm going to allow Krystal to share with us what her giveaway is going to be on this evening. I know what the giveaway is, and I'm really excited for you to find out what the giveaway is going to be. Krystal?
Yeah, so the winner will get a copy of the Davenports More Than This, and an exclusive bookmark and sticker, and a letter from me.
I love that, guys. Check out that giveaway. And of course, to be in the running for the giveaway, all you had to do was participate and comment in the comment section. Krystal, my friend, I'm going to ask you to assist me. I'm going to go up and down the comment section, my friend, and you're going to tell me when to stop. And then that person will be the winner of a copy of the Davenport and all the swag that comes along with it. Okay, I am ready when you are.
All right. Stop.
Okay. Waletta Dunn with her white lights. You are the winner, my friend. If you will inbox me your information, I'll be sure to get it over to author Krystal Marquis, and she will get this information out to you. You win a copy of the book, The Davenports More Than This. You also get a bookmark and a special letter from Krystal Marquis as well. So if you will inbox me, we'll make sure we get that out to you. And congratulations, and thank you for joining us on today. Now, Krystal, of course, we have to share with the people, my friend, how can they get their hands on a copy of the Davenports More Than This?
Well, I'm very happy to share that you can get the Davenports wherever books are sold. And if you'd like to support a local indie, you can get your books off of bookshop.org or my local bookstore, Riverbend Bookshop. I go there frequently, maybe like every week. But whenever they get new books, I do sign them. So if you'd like a signed copy, you could let them know. And when I drop by, I can personalize it. And yeah.
I love that, guys. There you have it. It is available where books are sold. We'll be putting a couple of links in the comment section as well, so you can get your copy. And Krystal, it is available in ebook. It's available in print. Is it available in audio for the audiobook lovers now, or just in ebook and print?
It is available in audiobook, and I'm very excited to announce that Jonice Abbott-Pratt, also who narrated book 1, also narrated this one. So the wonderful, wonderful narration. So yeah, that's available for those who prefer audiobooks.
I love that. And guys, do not forget about the first book, The Davenports. Of course, it is available now. And this one is available in all 3 formats and paperback as well, because this is a hardcover, but it is available in paperback. And then, of course, guys, the sequel is available now, the Davenports as well. And of course, we'll put the links in the comment section. And after you guys read it, definitely leave a review. I know that Krystal Marquis will be so appreciative of that. And not only that, guys, tell a friend to tell a friend. Book clubs, oh my goodness, grab book 1 if you haven't read that, read that, and then follow up with the sequel. If you've already read book one, I definitely get you a copy of the sequel because you will enjoy the second part of the Davenports series as well. Krystal, thank you so much for hanging out with us on today.
Yes.
The time goes by so fast, my friend.
Yeah.
Please share with us, how can we stay connected with you?
Yeah, thank you so very much for having me. This was a lot of fun. You can find me at Christabel_reads on Instagram, Threads, and on Facebook. My website is krystalmarquis.com, and you can find me on TikTok and Blue Sky as Krystal Marquis.
I love that. I love it, guys. And definitely make sure that you are following her. And Krystal, on your website, is there a newsletter that they can sign up for as well?
I haven't started one yet, but I will announce when I do. You can find that information there.
I love it. But in the meantime, guys, you can follow her on social media, all of that good stuff. And like I said, definitely leave a review. By following her on social media, you can stay in contact with her and what she has going on next and where she's going to be, because she does have some in-person events too. So follow her. And if you're out in one of the areas that she's at, stop by and say hi, all of that good stuff as well. Thank you guys so much for joining us on today. And Krystal, I want to allow you, my friend, to have the last words of what you want to say to the people.
All right. I want to say thank you, everyone, for spending this time with me. I know it's right before the holidays. I hope you guys have a very safe holiday and enjoy some really great books. And don't forget to share your favorites with your friends.
I love it. Thank you so much, Krystal. Guys, that is our show on today. Of course, you can stay connected with me. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Angela Anderson's YouTube. Follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. I'm on TikTok, Angela Anderson Presents. And of course, guys, as we always say here at the cafe, have an amazing day, because we're having an amazing day. And until next time, we'll see you guys later. Be sure to grab yourself a copy of the Davenports More Than This. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.